Hi, everyone. It's Shirley Farrar, and this is Encouragement on Fire. We are now on podcast number 133, episode number 11 for 2025. And we are still talking about defeating cancer, sickness, and disease. But as you know, in 2025, our focus is on what? It is on our prayer life, right? Our wellness, and it's also on nutrition. So as we're moving through, last week we had I would say, a subcategory where we just worship the Lord. So if you get an opportunity, check out our last podcast, number 132, if you're in the mood for worship. But I want to continue to encourage you. Today we are talking about the gift of present moment. The present moment where you are right now. You are with me right now watching this podcast. But there's some other distractions around you. It could be family, it could be your phone. There's a lot of things that are distracting you from focusing on the present right now. And this is something that, as people of faith, we have, you know, sometimes we have an issue with when it comes to our quality time with God. We're in the in our life, we call having a moment or taking quiet time, we name it mindfulness. And so that's the current term that we use in society, mindfulness. But nothing has changed. It is our quiet time in our faith, within ourselves. It is our time with God. And so I want you to take this moment with me because I want to share some things about how do we appreciate the gift, and that is exactly what it is, of the present moment. Hmm. We have so many relationships in life, and we're always trying to outdo one person or another, or we're always trying to accomplish this or accomplish that, instead of at that very moment appreciating where we are. This particular week, there's a couple things that happened. uh, I was acknowledged to be able to go to a platform, MACE 2025, to be able to speak on previous research with a colleague of mine. And that will be coming up in 2025. And that is a privilege. And I had to take a moment. I was thinking about the next, and my colleague said, take a moment and appreciate what has just happened to you. And that is where I am right now, appreciating what is in my life right now. And so I was told to, hey, look at your situation. My colleague said to me, look at what has just happened. You have been on this journey for years, and it finally came to fruition. And now you're going to speak about it. And I think that's an honor. And so I had to sit in that. So I am, the gift of the present moment. I'm accepting it and I'm appreciating it. What is your present moment? Is it your family? Is it having children? Is it a new job, a new thing that has happened to you? What is your present moment? So today I want to talk about, of course, I'm a person of faith. So always want to give you foundation. So first of all, there is a scripture in the Bible, and this scripture is in Matthew 6:34. And in this scripture, it encourages us to be present, not be anxious for tomorrow, because tomorrow will take care of itself. Lots of times we don't appreciate today, and then tomorrow comes, and then we're thinking about what happened yesterday. Do you find yourself there? Well, so right now, we are to focus on right now. Even Hebrews 11:1 says, now faith. So, how many of you are currently working your current faith? You're currently in the moment. What is God doing in your life right now? And let's appreciate where we are. So, I want to jump ahead. I want to talk about the scripture in Mark 4:35-41. And in this particular scripture, it is about Jesus and the disciples. And they went on a journey on a ship. Now, everyone who knows me, I'm not getting on a ship. First of all, I get seasick, but at the same time, I'm not doing it. So, for everyone that enjoys the ocean, I enjoy water and I enjoy swimming. I just don't enjoy going out there to sea. But if you are that person and this is something you enjoy, so maybe you'll enjoy this story. So, Jesus is out on a ship and he is with his disciples, right? You're somewhere, you're out with your friends or your people that may listen to you or look up to you. And so he's on the ship and he's taking advantage of the relaxation because anytime you are on water or you're near water, isn't it about relaxing, right? Everyone wants to go to the shore, or at least the majority of people, you enjoy going to the shore or some type of water and just having a sound mind or mindfulness, just doing nothing, right? So Jesus was taking advantage of this and he was on the ship in the back of the area. Okay. So he's all far off, away from everybody, taking advantage of his time. Wouldn't you be doing that too? So there he is. And all of a sudden, what happens? All of a sudden, there's a great storm. And the storm was so vigilant that disciples began to be afraid. How many times in your situation, life is good and all of a sudden you get fearful because of a situation that comes up? And maybe you don't know how to deal with it. You've never been in this type of situation before. The first thing that comes upon us is fear. And the Lord tells us, fear not, I am with you. So in this, Jesus is asleep in a storm. How many of you can sleep through a storm? Yeah, I can. How many of you are in situations sometimes and it's volatile? It's just, oh my goodness, and you are anxious, you are worried, right? But Jesus is asleep. And his disciples were so afraid, they came to wake him up. Now, they know that he needed his sleep, but they came all the way in the back of the boat, the ship, to wake him up because they were afraid. And they were talking to him and they were saying, hey, Jesus, how could you sleep at a time like this? How is it that you are not afraid like us? That's basically what they were saying. How can you leave us in this state? Aren't you the person we think you are? Now, if they knew he was that person, if they had faith in God, they would have said, Jesus is asleep. So I guess I need to sleep too. But instead, they woke him up. And, in our life, our relationship with God is the most important, right? That's what this is all about. If we understand the gift of the present moment, knowing the people that are around you, right? Them knowing who Jesus is, that is one of the reasons why they woke him up, because they were familiar with some part of him and they knew that he was the guy that could change the atmosphere. He was the one that was still training them, still teaching them, for them to be observant on what they needed to do next, right? And so in the book of Mark, John Mark, who wrote this book, but in the book of Mark, we discover, we unpack that Jesus, he was the answer to what they needed. And immediately when Jesus woke up, he said to them, hey, how is it that you have no faith? That is a loaded question. How is it, and we can say that to ourselves, Whatever situation you find yourself in right now, you're getting anxious. And Jesus is saying to you, how is it that you have no faith? You have gone to church, you have friends and the pastors and the priests, they've all been talking to you about having faith. You have heard the word. You every Sunday, Saturday, when you go to the house of God, and now you find yourself in a practical situation pertaining to something you have read before according to the faith, and yet you have no faith. What he really was saying is, when are you going to put this into practice? When are we going to practice using our faith and remaining in the present tense, right? Don't worry about tomorrow. Work your faith now. Speak life over your situation. I always talk to everyone about their vision, your vision boards. You should be looking at that vision board every day, speaking life into that vision over yourself. What is it your next that you are doing that day? Now, you're going to prepare, of course, everyone. If you didn't prepare for the future, that would be unwise. I'm not talking about that. What I'm saying is to be overly anxious about something that's coming afar off. That's not where your focus should be. Your focus, or most of your focus, should be right here, right now, enjoying life. What is life bringing you right now? What has God blessed you with right now that you can appreciate it? Are you appreciating what is right in front of you? The family you have, right? Whether that is your blood family or your friends. Are you appreciating those people and your faith that come and talk to you or pray with you or call you? Are you appreciating those that are at your jobs and in your careers that help you every day? Are you mindful in that moment to say, thank you, I appreciate you? Well, Jesus teaches us that we are to use our faith. We are to be in that moment. And so being present, focusing on our faith and not our fear. That is the answer for all of us. And embracing the now. What is it you're missing? Because you are so focused on tomorrow. You're so focused on yesterday. You can't go back to yesterday. So we need to leave yesterday alone. But right now, I always tell my children, I tell everyone, everything you need is in your hand. So let's appreciate the now. And so, how can we begin? What are some strategies we can begin to live in the moment? That's a good one. The first one is breathe. We're so busy trying to get to the next. Breathe. Whatever's going on right now, let's practice that right now. I want you to breathe in for 4 seconds. Come on. This is mindfulness. This is your relationship with God to hear what it is that He has for you. So let's breathe in. Ready? 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do that again. Come on. I want you to breathe in. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't you feel a little bit more calm? Absolutely, you do. Now, I say that quiet time that you're in right now, this is the perfect time to pray. This is the perfect time to seek God for what it is that He would have for you. He said that He wishes that we would not be anxious for nothing. And we can. This is our body that we live in. When we breathe in and out, we can literally slow down our anxiety and then go into prayer and seek God for what it is that He would have for us. The last thing that I would say to you is make sure that you are journaling every day. What are 3 things that you're grateful for? You should be writing it down in your journal. So then when you enter into his gates with thanksgiving, into his courts with praise, you have something to acknowledge of what he has helped you with, right? The noun. Remember, tomorrow will take care of itself, even though you have prepared. But right now, your main focus is appreciating what you have right in front of you. So, what are we going to do? We are going to appreciate the gift of the present moment. And that is in Matthew 6:34. We're going to do some deep breathing. When we feel anxiety in our lives, we're going to stop and breathe, right? That's what the disciples should have done. They should have thought about, what did he teach us? I know Jesus spoke in parables, but what did he teach us? He was teaching us when he was speaking to us. And sometimes when you spend a lot of times with when you spend a lot of time with someone, you learn their patterns. You learn what they're trying to say to you. You learn things about them when they're not even training you. When they're not even trying to teach you, you learn from them. So right now, when you're in prayer, when you are reading your word, the things around you that God has allowed, what is he speaking to you? What is he saying? I hope that you are taking this gift of the present moment and seeing that this is an opportunity for you to have a deeper relationship with God. And you can call it mindfulness, you can call it prayer, but no matter what you call it, it is truly a gift of the present moment. Well, I'm Shirley Farrar, and this has been Encouragement on Fire. I'll talk to you soon.